everybody. I'm Marissa Diaz, your host today on KTAL News Now. Yes, I know. I'm not Anthony Mocklin. Hi, Mock. He's looking at me. I'm not Anthony Mocklin. I am Marissa Diaz. I know you've seen a lot of me, but it's okay. You're going to see a lot more peeps, including Anthony Mock. He's looking at me over there from the window, giving me some stare looks. The commissioner of our fantasy football league, but we're not here to talk about us. We're here to talk about some fabulous people that are joined with me today. This project is near and dear to our hearts, especially here at the station. We've had this special guest on before. We're actually, we've got two guests in house. I know we're really loading it up. But today with us, we have our friends from the Renesting Project. We have our executive director, Emily Jo Manchester Sandin. Try to say that 17 times in a row. And then we have one of our board members, Johnny Norris.
Hey there.
Welcome. So let's talk about Renesting Project and what Renesting Project is, because I think it is a hidden gem. I know we know about it, but it's a hidden gem. So tell us what it's about.
Yeah, I tend to agree. We are a well-kept secret, unfortunately, despite coming on this show and other shows and, shouting into the void of social media as constantly as we can to try and get the word out about our mission. Our mission is to gather and distribute gently used furniture and household items to those in need right here in Northwest Louisiana. We are the only furniture bank serving the 9 parishes of Northwest Louisiana, Region 7. I'm very proud of the work we do. I'm proud to be associated with it as the executive director. It's, like Marissa said, a hidden gem. We don't want to be hidden. We're really working on it. So if you have gently used items to donate, or if you want to get involved, if you want to learn more, listen to us as we talk for the next however long we're chatting. Visit our website, follow us on social media, all that good stuff. I am here with our board member, Johnny Norris. So I'd love to hear about how you got involved with Renesting and how much you love it.
Probably the last 2-3 years of working with your sister on some advertising things and being exposed, and I think that's a key thing to remember, being exposed to the events and the mission and seeing the changes that y'all are making in people's lives, and the fact that this is something that any of us can do. You don't have to go fund a nonprofit or an organization. You can go help them out by contributing your time, your labor, items if you have them, or going out and helping to fundraise for them, like some of us are doing here for our upcoming events. But it's just seeing what you guys feel is a huge issue that's not being addressed, and you're the only ones doing it. So being exposed to that across the last few years, and it probably shouldn't have taken that long, because I want to say after 6 months, I was like, oh yeah, they really do care about this, and this is something that any of us has probably dealt with. I mean, if you were lacking a bed, a table, a chair, I mean, you name it, whatever set of furniture it is, we all know the experience. You go to college, you have your first place, you sleep on the floor or an air mattress or any number of things that you just don't have what the bare necessities are. And so I think everyone has experienced it. So for any of us to not try and help it, we can all do something.
Yeah. And it's also, helping. So this organization is amazing because they upcycle, recycle, and then go out and partner with, over 60 plus agencies in the community, and then gift these homewares to an empty space. So if you empty, beds and, dish racks. I mean, all of the things that you may consider to be not useful anymore is so valuable to some of the clients that Renesting Project serves.
Yeah, you guys have touched on some of the things that I think are really important about our mission and our program and how we operate. You do talk about this universal experience of not having the things that you need. I know, especially in this community, I was an Army brat, I'm now an Air Force wife, but a lot of the military community, when you're PCSing and you're waiting for your items or things like that, I remember we moved overseas. My dad got stationed in Germany, and moving day was a few weeks sooner than our shipment of furniture was getting to us. And so I remember my sisters and I sharing an air mattress in a bedroom for a couple of weeks, or, renting furniture from, a lot of us have this experience of not having the things that we need when we need them. But a lot of us, the people that are donating to Renesting, also have the experience of being able to get those things, borrow them from your family or your friends, your safety net, being able to purchase them, having the disposable income to do those things. And the clients we're serving don't have that safety net and don't have that disposable income. So it is this universal experience of, yeah, I moved into my dorm, but my parents were able to furnish my entire apartment, and they helped me fill my fridge and my pantry and things like that. And then that experience with the movers when we were military growing up, it is this, I consider it a universal experience. But there's also the universal experience of taking for granted the things that you have. You get used to the things that are in your home, and you don't even consider how easy it is. I have a can opener, so I can buy whatever canned goods I have. Some of our clients, they get canned food from the food bank, or they use supplemental income to get canned goods, and then they don't have a can opener. So they got to make sure they get the pop-top kind, or maybe they don't have a pot to even heat those things, or a microwave, or whatever the situation may be. So I'm really glad that you touched on that, because it is a reality for our clients to not always have the things that they need, and to be in spaces where they're sleeping on the floor, and they have to choose, I have a little bit of money left over, so do I buy a chair, or do I try and get a bed frame for this amount? So thank you for touching on that. Something else that y'all touched on that I want to talk more about is it left me.
Well, give some context. Like,
yeah.
when you go in and you deliver and set things up, what are some of these places like? I mean, it's one thing for us to talk about, hey, I'm in an air mattress, or we don't have that dining set, so you just eat on the couch or something. It's not like that for them, is it?
No. The clients that we serve are such a wide variety of our community. We're serving veterans that have been previously homeless, young people aging out of foster care, people who have escaped violence or a natural disaster. So often what they have varies as well, but the majority of our clients have a trash bag full of clothes, maybe a little end table or something that they got off the side of the road that somebody had discarded. They've got some canned goods from the food bank or from a pantry, and just like little things here or there that they've kind of gathered in their situation. But other than that, it's an empty apartment or an empty home. We say that sometimes it resembles a kennel, because you're just sleeping in this empty space, 4 walls, and that's it. Some of the apartment buildings that we serve don't have overhead lighting or ceiling fans in all the rooms, so a lot of times it's a dark, empty kennel. It doesn't resemble a dwelling place. It doesn't, in my opinion, have any dignity. And so we say a lot that our mission, or part of our mission, is to help our clients function with dignity in their dwellings. I think about, we've already mentioned the taking for granted. When I'm calling to make a doctor's appointment, I always have a pen and a notepad ready, available to me. I can sit down at my dining table on that phone call. And those are things that maybe you don't think about a lot, especially as a furniture bank. People think that we really only take furniture, but it's everything. Anything you need to function with dignity in a dwelling is something that we could take. And I remember what I wanted to touch on. You mentioned that people can volunteer or donate financially, and I think that's something that I really do want to touch on. We are volunteer powered, and every little bit helps. So if you are a big money donor and you want to give us, thousands of dollars to help fund our mission, absolutely, I will meet you in person. I will shake your hand. Thank you very much. But we also, as a volunteer-powered organization, need people to help us clean and sort our donations. Furniture, pots and pans, things come in. They need a little wipe down before we can give them to our clients. It's important to us that the items we're giving are clean and functional. We're not giving anybody trash. So we need help with that kind of thing. I sometimes need help with filing. So if you are just really into organization and you want to come help me file some documents, you're welcome to. It takes all hands, all kinds of kinds to do the work that we do. And we're happy to have you for any little bit of whatever you want to give, whether it's writing a blog post or helping with social media or cleaning furniture or helping me deliver that furniture. It really does take a little bit of everything. So thank you for mentioning that.
It's not just individuals, though, is it? I mean, it could be
Volunteer
whole
groups,
organizations,
yes.
Companies,
Cheerleading group,
Girl Scouts,
church
Boy Scouts,
groups, anybody.
people who need service hours,
Yeah.
all
Anybody.
of that.
Yeah.
It really is. We love a volunteer group. We love drives. Last year, the Black Dolls Motorcycle Club did a Christmas tree drive for our client holiday event, and that was a wonderful experience. I think wonderful for the motorcycle club, but wonderful for our volunteers and our clients as well, to make sure that we had Christmas trees. That's one of those things that it's not just about functioning, it's about creating a sense of home. I know around the holidays, I love putting up a tree. I hate taking it down in February.
Same.
So it's important to us for our clients to experience the things that a lot of us find normal. You know, it's normal for my husband and I to put our Christmas tree up and to decorate it and all these other things, but for our clients, spending their limited income, their limited resources on decorations, it can't always be a priority when food and rent and their light bill has to be a priority. So we're happy to work with groups like the Black Dolls Motorcycle Club. We've worked with Rotary clubs. We've worked, I'm talking to the Lions Club later. So yes, if you're part of a club or a group or a neighborhood association or anything like that, we'd love to work with you to see, you know, how you want to get involved with our mission, whether it's volunteering or a drive or gifts, financial gifts, whatever. It's a little bit of everything.
Anything and everything.
Anything and everything.
Monetary funds are always welcome.
Yes.
Volunteer hours are always welcome. I mean, so the board is also a working board,
Yeah.
right? They've got their work, but then they also work within the organization. And if you ever need a humble pie, you need to go on one of these renesting. Where the space is completely empty, and you go in there and they have nothing, and you come in there and you put basically their home together. Yeah. That is a really humbling experience, because you just figure, you know, like you said, we take for granted. I'm sitting in a chair, right? We take for granted that we have a chair and a desk and a pen and all that stuff. And so when I went on one of them, it was like, wow. When we complain about items and things in life, like let's get reality checks, right? People may have it a lot better than us and a lot worse than us, so it's a humble pie check, I think.
It really is.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's important to recognize that you are free to do whatever you want in your life with whatever you have. But we certainly appreciate people who recognize the excess and are willing to part with it and give it to someone who doesn't have excess in their life. So, you know, if you're spring cleaning, or if you got this wonderful new coffee maker for Christmas, consider donating your old one to Renesting Project for someone who really needs a cup of coffee before work, but doesn't necessarily have, you know, the funds to buy a coffee maker or anything like that. So we live in an incredibly generous area. I'm amazed by Northwest Louisiana's generosity every time we have an event, every time we, you know, put the call out that we need something specific for a client. I know earlier this year we had a client who was a musician, and he was like, any instruments you have, I would love to get them. And we put that call out in our newsletter, and somebody gave us a guitar for that client. So
wow.
I'm always amazed by the generosity of this area, and I know that the more people who learn about our mission, the more people will be very generous supporting us, whether with their time, their talent, or their treasure. So thank you all for having me today.
Yes, no, of course. I mean, serving 9 parishes is a lot.
It is
a lot.
I would say 90% of our clients are in Bossier and Caddo. We don't have quite the reach that we have in the other parishes.
But we want to.
We want to.
We want to.
We're
So
growing.
with your help, friends,
Yes,
we want to.
Tell all your friends in all those parishes. I don't know them by heart. I really should. I know Webster's on there, Natchitoches, Red River, DeSoto, Claiborne.
Oh, well, there you go. So she says that she doesn't know. Yeah, she's listening.
But we're trying to grow with our agency partners in those other parishes. So if you know of agencies in those parishes that are serving families or individuals that might need our services, you know, send them our website. We're happy to partner with them. We just recently partnered with the Red Cross and Hands of Hope and some other agencies that do have a reach beyond Bossier and Caddo. So we're hoping that number is a little closer to 50% in Bossier, Caddo, and other parishes as we grow. But the parishes that we serve from our inception in 2010 to 2022, we only served Bossier and Caddo. So these new parishes are a relatively new addition to our mission. So we're excited to continue to grow and serve people in need in our entire region.
So a question that maybe will stump you. Do we know what percentage or even a number of households or individuals that really do need use of Renesting's services?
It's hard to say. Are you talking about like a percentage of our community that may need our help?
Yeah, and all these parishes we're talking about here. Yeah.
I really don't know, because a lot of the parishes are fairly rural, so they don't have the kind of nonprofit or community support infrastructure that Bossier and Caddo really have. I think the last time I looked at the Institute for Nonprofit Administration and Research report about how many nonprofits are in this region, it's like over 2,000 as far as the Shreveport-Bossier MSA. I might be wrong. That's what I remember.
That's a
so
lot.
We're very rich in the way of nonprofits here, and I think that has a lot to do with the large nonprofit hospitals that we have in this area. Like the medical field is huge in Shreveport-Bossier. We also have a number of churches that kind of fall under that designation as well. We're a very faith-based region, for sure. But then we also have the Institute for Nonprofit Administration and Research here at LSUS that is an extremely important resource for nonprofits. That I got my master's degree at LSUS and was a graduate assistant at the at INAR. So it's this incredible resource, and I think gives birth to a lot of nonprofits in this region. And nonprofits, we have costs, so we're in a pretty good area as far as like I mentioned, the generosity of this region. So I am not sure what percentage of clients okay. So in our region, hold on, my brain's like gone in 3 different directions.
Yeah, it's like how there's a stat on childhood hunger,
right.
That kind of a thing.
So I'm not good at remembering numbers, which is why don't trust me on that 2,000 number, but do look at the State of Nonprofits report from the Institute at LSUS. It's very interesting. I don't know the numbers of, I would say, like ALICE residents in those regions. And ALICE is an acronym that I cannot remember the entire acronym, but it's essentially low-income people, families and children that would probably qualify for our services and need our services. I don't know the ALICE numbers for those parishes out. I don't even know the numbers for Bossier Caddo, if I'm honest. But I do think in those rural communities, there's a lack of access to the kind of community support, government support, nonprofit support that we have here in Bossier Caddo. Because the way that our services work, we require our clients to have a referral from one of our partner agencies. And like Marissa stated earlier, we have over 60 partners. The majority of them are serving Bossier and Caddo. Some of them are only serving Caddo because there is such a need in Caddo Parish. But I've totally lost my train of thought.
There's more need out there than you can help.
Right now. These agencies, they're centered around Bossier Caddo because there's funds here. They're centered around Bossier Caddo because there's need here. But accessing those agencies as a resource is limited in these other regions because they don't exist. They don't. Like for the longest time, we only served Bossier Caddo. So if we got an application for someone outside of these parishes, we couldn't serve them because that wasn't in our geographical service area. So you think about how many other agencies might have that limited kind of geographic service area and not reaching these people who are in more rural parishes or parishes where that infrastructure doesn't exist. So we're working on finding more agency partners in those areas, but transportation is an issue, communication is an issue. There's so many layers to poverty.
And if someone is not associated with whoever is in need, that need isn't even known.
Right.
Without that organization or individual.
You think about the kind of loss of community. So I feel that we have a very strong sense of community here in Northwest Louisiana. I don't know what that's like in other communities, but a couple months ago I watched the documentary Join or Die that was showing at the Robinson. I've actually seen it twice. I really enjoyed it, and I will butcher the synopsis, so I recommend watching it. It's online somewhere, I'm sure, in this age of streaming. But generally it's the documentary is about this sense of, back in the day we had all these clubs and all these societies and all these things that had just this booming membership, and that membership has slowly dropped. It took an incredible nosedive during the pandemic and hasn't really recovered. And the idea, all these studies were done. I can't remember his name. the man whose research is kind of the subject of this documentary, but it's tied to longevity. You know, if you have a community around you that knows when things aren't going right and you can turn to when you need help, you live longer. And because there's this idea of like, if you don't join, that's why it's called join or die. If you aren't joining,
you're dying.
Right. And one of the through lines of the movie is about bowling leagues, which I found very interesting. My husband is an avid bowler. He's in like 5 different leagues. It's a great hobby. But this idea of you're not as involved in your community, and so you're losing longevity. And I think about a lot of our clients and people in kind of, I don't want to say the fringes of society, but on the fringes of maybe neighborhoods or in more rural areas. I keep going back to that rural area part because
geographically you have a lack of access.
You don't have a community, you know. In an apartment building, you have the community of the people around you. You know, you're passing each other in the lobby downstairs, or there's a pool, or even like a laundry room. Whereas if you're in a rural community, maybe you don't. I feel like I'm all over the place. There's it's such an interesting concept. This Join or Die film, I highly recommend it.
Do you think it could have something to do with the death of the third place, or at least the decline?
Yes, I do, because you're not going to these meetings. You're not interacting with people. What you know about your neighbors might just be what they're posting on social media, or your perception of them, the outside of their house. And I could talk about this kind of stuff forever, and we've definitely gotten off the path talking about renesting. But I do think it's all of it is tied together as far as our services are addressing low-income individuals, people who are living at or below poverty or just above it. Anyway, I won't get into how I feel about those statistics, but it is all tied together. And I think Lee Jeter, who's the executive director at the Fuller Center, always talks about a hand up, not a hand out. And I think there's a lot of layers to that saying. I think it's very powerful. The clients we're serving are often trying to help themselves. They are requesting our services because they want to have these things to function with dignity in their dwelling, but they also want to be able to spend their money to get out of whatever hole or situation that they might be in, instead of trying to furnish their entire apartment. So we're taking this load off of them so they can concentrate on the other things they need. You know, if they've escaped a violent situation, they might have to be worrying about court dates and getting their children back from a violent partner, or these other things that are such a higher priority than trying to find a bed frame. As important as that bed frame really is to their everyday life, if I had to rank the things that were important in that scenario, you know, trying to buy a bed frame is just pretty low.
It's low, but it's where you sleep every night, and if you're getting bad sleep,
it is. I can't imagine having to make those decisions. I've been very blessed. I'm very privileged in my life to have always had the furniture and the household items that I need, or the ability to purchase those things if I need them. Lots of feelings.
You take stuff for granted.
Yeah, it is. I think about all the things that I touch. I get out of bed, I have a pillow, I have a blanket, I have a nightstand, I go into my bathroom and I have towels and all the personal hygiene items that I need, and then I make coffee and I have the coffee maker and I have the cup. And I have dish soap to wash the reusable filter in my fancy coffee maker. And I have a coat rack where I grab my jean jacket and my purse that's hanging on it. Like, these are things that have become so normal in my routine that I'm not considering how lucky I am to have all of those things.
So let's say the coat rack goes missing. Where do you put your jacket?
Right.
On the chair,
well,
right.
I have a bench.
Exactly.
I have a bench right next to it
things
that I could throw my jacket. So it's like there's so many layers to my privilege, and I do want to recognize that privilege. I'm very blessed and very privileged in the life that I have. And the truth about it is that privilege can go away any minute. I mean, if I lost my job and lost my income, you know, my savings are okay. So I could probably get by for a little while. But the reality is that so many Americans and so many Louisianans, so many North Louisianans, so many Shreveport natives are living paycheck to paycheck. So, you know, I don't really like the dichotomy of like the people who are helping and the people who need help, because the reality is that those lines move around all the time. And these are our community members, you know. There are people in my neighborhood that live paycheck to paycheck, and I'm not in a great neighborhood. Like, I'm not, anyway. we can cut that, whatever. Like,
We're not cutting it. We're just going straight through. We're not cutting any
what the
of it.
point I'm trying to make is that there are people all around you, no matter what part of the city or this parish or this region that you live in. There are people all around you who are struggling with who knows what and may need our services one day, or who have used our services.
What if you have a house fire? I mean, what if you're just normal day to day, and then
literally anything
reset.
can happen, and it's terrifying to think about. And if you're having a bad mental health day, it's even more terrifying to think about.
All the what ifs.
Yeah, all the what ifs. A house fire,
Electrical fire, anything.
a natural disaster. I mean, I think about how many clients we
yeah.
served that came up here from Lafayette when all that was happening there. I think about
Or even Katrina. I mean, all the things.
You
Yeah.
get involved with the wrong person, and you're involved in this horrible violence, and then you finally escape. I mean, you don't have anything. You've been isolated. You've lost your safety network. You've lost all these things. It's just wild to think about. We've definitely gotten off on a tangent.
Well, I mean,
But
the
it's all
tangent
related.
is that everybody needs help, regardless.
Yes.
And this great project, this great nonprofit, this great entity in our community needs help. Volunteer sponsorships, really monetary donations, your physical donations, or basically like everything and anything that you can do to help.
We appreciate it for
Yes.
sure. I do something else that I kind of want to touch on before we wrap up is we partner with over 60 agencies. There are so many programs, so many churches, so many clinics, so many nonprofits doing incredible work to help the same people that we're helping. They're providing counseling, they're helping people get into housing, they're helping them with physical therapy, or helping them, get justice after violence, or so many different agencies and this network of nonprofits that are assisting people with all kinds of things. And then we come in and we do the furniture and the household items. There's so much work to be done. We're just kind of that missing piece of our partners' work that's being done. So we really value partnership. We value dignity, stewardship. I could go on and on about Renesting and our values and how we do our best to instill those values in the work that we're doing. But I can't say enough how important it is that we partner with all of these agencies. Without those incredible agencies, the Highland Center, the Fuller Center, Providence House, the VA Hospital. We work with a ton of VOA programs. All of these programs and missions, we don't exist without them doing the work of getting in touch with people in need. We are a staff of 2. So we're able to concentrate on the furniture and the household items and providing these items for our clients to function with dignity, but we can't do that without partnership. Partnering with these agencies, partnering with you to get your gently used items, or a financial gift, or the gift of your time. We just value partnership so much.
You can meet the need, but everyone needs to bring it to you.
Yeah.
And so much of it is hidden. I mean, I think that's a huge part of what we've
Yeah,
really
it is
dived
hidden.
into.
It's a good, and I keep saying it's a
don't know.
hidden gem because people don't really recognize the impact, right, of the organization. I challenge you all to go on to renestingprojectinc.org to find out even more how you can help donate, reclaim, renew, renest for this community organization that is very, very impactful. But Johnny and Emily Jo Manchester Sandin, thank you for being on. So we're gonna give you a little teaser right now. So help is always needed for the Renesting Project, from Gift for Good all the way up until the whole year. But stay tuned, because we're gonna talk about the Renest Fest, an annual fundraising party that's coming up every year that you do not want to miss, because guess what? There's a lot of things that are happening, but I'm not going to share it with y'all right now because you'll have to come back and check it out. So until next time, friends, I'm Marissa Diaz, and thank you so much to my special guests. Let's look at them one more time before they go and say bye, but we'll be back very shortly. Again, thank you so much. Renest Fest. The URL, the website is renestingprojectinc.org. And peace out. I'm Marissa Diaz. Until next time, bye.